So today in this video we are going to compare our life in Thailand versus our life in Switzerland. And before we go in, we maybe need to explain how we got here. We have on one hand Gabriela from Brazil who lived in Switzerland for
1.5 years?
1.5 years.
Almost 2 years.
And then me, who was born and raised in Switzerland basically my entire life until I went to Brazil, right? So our story short, the two of us, we met in Australia. We had a long distance relationship. Then I think you visited me in Switzerland. I visited you in Rio de Janeiro. And then a few months later we found out that we were going to be parents. And then we had to make a decision. Is it coming to Switzerland? Am I going to Brazil? And eventually I would move out to Brazil. We would have Lara, our daughter, who is now 4.5, almost 5 years old. Mm-hmm. We lived in Brazil for 3-ish years.
2.5.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
We would move back to Switzerland for about 1.5 years. We would spend there just like one cycle of the year, winter, which I really disliked. And we decided that we're gonna go away, right? That's like 8-9 months ago. And there's something about Thailand, about this place, when we said we don't want to travel any further, we want to stay here, at least for now, right? And so it's, I think, over 6 months now. We've been living in Thailand. We moved around a bit. Right now we're in Krabi. We've seen Koh Samui, we've seen Chiang Mai, we've seen Phuket. Krabi is the place we like best. And a lot of people would ask us, what is the difference of life in Switzerland versus life in Thailand? And maybe a little disclaimer before we go in. This is just our perception, right?
Of course.
Like, this is how we perceive life here, how we perceive life in Switzerland. You could probably ask another couple from Switzerland and they would say completely different things about Thailand, whether they like it better or not. This is just our opinions, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to start with lifestyle. And I was thinking of how can we compare lifestyle. I mean, it's probably the easiest if we just go through a regular day and speak out what the differences we notice. And maybe we take yesterday as an example. And I'm going to start because I wake up earlier than you, right? I wake up in the morning and I go for a walk. This is what I've always been doing for years. And in Switzerland, obviously, you get out of your pajama, you have to wear something because it's cold. And you go out and, maybe it's raining, maybe it's windy, maybe it's foggy most of the times. There's that. Here, I can literally get up and walk out, like in my training shorts or the clothes I sleep in. I walk out and I'm in nature. And this is something that's really, really relaxing, something I really enjoy. I go out, I do always my round, and I see chickens. Then sometimes I see like the dragons, like the big geckos.
Lizards.
I see cows. Sometimes I see right out here what is the buffalo. I see no cars, maybe every now and then, like the scooter. But basically I'm alone, I'm in nature, and it's super, super peaceful. Just the morning routine, before I do anything, is just a different way to waking up, right? That's for me the case. Then I go back to work, which is not much different. I do the same work. I've been doing my online coaching for several years, and no matter where I am, it's more or less the same, right? So this doesn't change. And then, I don't know, about 8 o'clock-ish, you will be up, I think. What is for you different? What is for you different from the morning?
I think the biggest thing for me is like, in Switzerland, I would wake up and I would have like break from work at 10 o'clock and it would still be slightly dark. So it would take so long to get bright in Switzerland, and here you wake up and it's like super sunny already, so it's easier to, you know, get it going, I would say.
Absolutely. No. Way easier. Because the sun is out most of the time and it's warm.
Yeah, and even when the sun is not out, it's always warm, so...
Yeah, this is one thing, like, even I realized this in Brazil as well, when it's just like warmer and when the sun's out, it's way easier to get up. It's way easier to get up. And yeah, we're not even getting into the energy because like of vitamin D that you probably lack in Switzerland.
Of course.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. Then about 9 o'clock, we take Laura to kindergarten.
Yeah.
So we go, the three of us, on a scooter, and yes, we wear helmets. We drive her to the scooter, to the kindergarten, and then we go to the gym, right?
Yeah, it's something that we almost never did together because, like...
Not just because of your work times. Or
yeah, my work time, so I would go to the gym during the night, and you would go during the day.
Yeah.
So it was something that we never used to do together.
Yeah, I think that's super cool. So, I did some work. We drop her at the kindergarten. We go to the gym. The gym itself, for me, it's also day and night. Switzerland versus Thailand. A lot of my clients, they always like complain. The gym was so full. I cannot do supersets. I, get annoyed by all these people. Here, sometimes we're completely alone.
Yes.
They don't care when we take Lara.
Yeah, they're super friendly. Yeah.
Right? They don't care when I take up my shirt. They don't care when we do like occupy 3 machines because nobody's there anyway. It feels almost like a private gym, and I really enjoy working out here.
Yeah.
I really do.
I mean, in Krabi, yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's different gyms. The gym community is pretty. I wouldn't say there's a lot of gyms, but not a lot of people in it, I would say. So I cannot say the gym community is huge. But how do you perceive like the gyms here, like compared to the one we went in Koreans, for example? What was it?
I would say that. How can I explain that? I would say just like less people, so you feel more free to do your thing, in the gym, and people are more friendly in general. Like they want to get to know you, and even like the staff, they are very friendly and they help us with Laura all the time. Like it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. We try to encourage Laura obviously to do like some handstands and to be active and run around. After a while she gets bored or whatever, and I think just the other day when we took her, the staff would take her and like paint and do stuff with her for over 1 hour. It was super, super cool. So yeah, and we always see the same people in the gym.
Yeah, it's almost like if your family, like you go there every single day, you see the same people every day. It's very easy to build like a relationship here with them. And they're very open as well. I think in Switzerland, it's not that people are not friendly or kind. They really are, but they are just not open. So it's hard to get to know them. Like it takes some months until you can even talk to them.
All right. Let's talk about people later. We have like some bullet points here.
Yeah.
And we're now, gym time, then is lunch. Here, like, it's not that difficult to eat healthy. I just picked up today, for example, lunch at the local business for like, it was a super cheap one for maybe in Swiss francs, 150.
Yes.
So I had rice, I had chicken, was super spicy, and then I had vegetables. We're talking about cost of living later, about prices, but this one was like ultra cheap and super good. You usually cook your food here, right? So not much of a difference there, I would say. No. Good. And then the afternoon is, for me, just like back to work. Not much of a difference. I mean, to be honest, if I'm here, sometimes I work on this table, and it's nice because we have like the green surrounding, and to the left is the pool, and it just feels good, right? It's a different feeling, and since the pool is here, if I get too hot, I can jump into the pool, right? How is it for you? Like in Switzerland, you had like this work schedule, and now you kind of don't. I would say it's a challenge for you because like you need to like learn how to schedule things.
Yeah, I think having more flexibility sometimes can be a problem, I would say. But overall, you know, you feel happier because I have more room, like, and more time to spend with Laura as well. So I think in general it was very good for me, like to, yeah. And even like nowadays I'm earning much less than I used to, but I was, before I thought, oh my God, this is gonna be so bad for like, you know, I thought I would be less happy because I would earn less. But in reality, it was the opposite. Like I'm feeling much happier, much more fulfilled here, for sure.
For context, maybe, right now she's doing the personal trainer certification, she studies, she also does some things for gym performance, she has a small salary, obviously. But she doesn't work like full time like back in Switzerland where she had to go to work from 8 to 5 just every day. It's going to rain.
It is raining already.
This is about the weather. This is about the weather.
We are in the rainy season right now, so it's like sunny and rainy all day, every day.
So maybe you've noticed like 20 minutes ago when we started, it was still, it's still warm. So warm, it's always warm.
Always
warm. The sun was out, and now it's raining, and then probably in 1 hour from now it will be the sun out again.
Or even less, sometimes just like 10 minutes and then it goes away.
Yeah, absolutely. So then a bit later during the day we pick up Lara again with the scooter.
Yeah.
And then it really depends. Like when I have calls, I do my calls because like with the time difference, obviously I go into that later. And then it really depends. Sometimes we jump into the pool together. Like yesterday, I went out actually for a run, with her bicycle, and then for the rest, it's then almost time to prepare dinner.
Yes.
I would say.
And one thing that we do here that we didn't used to do in Switzerland was like having dinner together, because I would finish work at 7:30, so
correct.
you and Laura would already have eaten by then. And here we do this every single day. So
yeah, that's correct. So way more family time. That's correct. And then we usually watch something together in the evening, like a series. Lately it's been a lot of sports documentaries, inspiring documentaries. And then usually very early. Lara sleeps 8, me at 9, you probably at 10, I don't know, very early. And then that's it, right? It gets dark at 6?
7. 7, yeah.
All right, so this is a very typical day. Monday to Friday, more or less. I mean, I'm also very flexible with my work schedule. Depends when I have calls, when I do my meetings and stuff. And then weekends, they're fun. They're fun, obviously, because in Krabi you have so many things, so many islands to visit. You have like the beach right here. This is something we sometimes also do. Actually, not too often, but just go in the evening to the beach, right? Watch the sunset.
Watch the sunset,
I mean, it's things. In the beginning, you do them every single day, obviously, and then you get used to it. You don't go that often anymore, but it's still like, huge for me at least. Weekends. What about weekends? How is it different?
It's completely different.
Completely different.
I used to work every single weekend in Switzerland, so you would have to look after Lara, or find something to do with her, or maybe arrange your mom or your family to look after her while you worked as well. And here, like, we are always together doing something.
That's the thing, right? It's just the three of us.
Yeah.
It's just the three of us. We don't have like my parents, her parents, and so the time is not at kindergarten and all weekends, just spend together and do things together, which I think is very good for our family life. But yeah, weekends, like in the beginning, obviously all the trips to the islands every weekend, and then like last weekend, for example, we did like the gymnastics that I organized. We went to the beach. We went, obviously all the normal stuff, groceries, shopping and everything. It's not much different, I would say. But in general, just because we're new and because the sun is out, I'm an outdoor lover, I'm a sun lover, it's just like more enjoyable to spend
And
weekends.
also, like when it's very warm outside, when it's sunny, you feel like you're missing out. So you're like, oh, I need to do something, right?
Yeah.
In Switzerland, because it was foggy and rainy and dark all the time, you're like, oh, okay, it's okay if I stay at home because I'm not missing out on anything.
Yeah. And then maybe, what is there?
A lizard
Where?
over there, under, close to the wall.
It's probably the same one.
Yeah.
We need to show Lara. It's like such a...
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Nature, like it's crazy here.
We
Like,
can
the
insert
sea,
the video I took from one of those.
They jump in the pool. You're just like,
And some of them are like
Having-
huge,
Yeah.
huge. Overall, for me, one reason why we're living here is nature, and it sounds a bit cliche, but it really makes a difference. We are also a bit isolated here, so we're not in a 1 million city or something. It's very peaceful, not a lot of people. Even during high season, there is some more, but the beach is not as crowded as, let's say, Phuket or other places. So, yeah, maybe about our house. How is this different?
Oh.
Our apartment.
different. Like here we pay the same price as we used to pay in Switzerland, but we have so much more here. Like we have a pool, we have a like 2-story house. It's just like so spacious and many things to do in an enclosed condominium, right? In Switzerland, it was just like a small apartment, and yeah, it's like very different. Like the money, like you can get so much more here than in Switzerland.
I think this
crazy.
brings us to costs of living, and obviously Thailand is cheaper. We cannot argue
for sure.
about that. However, some people think it's free, right? Or you know, we don't have any expenses here, which is on the other hand false as well. As you just said, we pay almost as much as in Switzerland for rent. However, in Switzerland you have an apartment in a regular house with other families, we share it. We don't have a pool, obviously. Pretty basic, I would say.
Yeah.
Was good for us. And here we pay the same, but we have like 2 floors. We have 3 bedrooms. One we don't even use. We have like 2 bathrooms. We have like the pool.
We have 3 bathrooms.
We have like the what is this called here?
Garden.
Like garden around the house and everything. We have cleaner.
Yeah.
Cleaner. I
Once
totally
a
forgot
week.
about to say. We have cleaner that come here, clean the
Yeah.
pool, clean the house,
Clean
everything.
the garden as well. Yeah.
You get way more with the money, obviously. I know someone who gets by with 700 or 800 euros per month. It's possible, right? It's possible, but it depends where you are, what you want, what is important to you. We have definitely like the luxury here, luxury variant of living. You can find very cheap things,
For sure.
like even things to live, right? And then the same with kindergarten. It depends where you go. Like ours is fairly inexpensive, especially compared to daycares in Switzerland. But Phuket
It was
4 times more expensive,
Yeah.
right? And then school. I need to say that because we just informed ourselves about school. 1 year private school, more or less 20,000 francs for like a 6-year-old child. So if you put that into the equation, it's no longer that cheaper than Switzerland. In fact, I would say it's then even, you pay more probably. Because in Switzerland, it's
Education
school's
is free.
free.
Yeah.
mostly. And then, about the curries, about the food. It's inexpensive. Obviously, it depends where you get it from a hotel, from street food. We were just in Chiang Mai. We had indeed meals for like 1 franc, if you can convert it. Here in Krabi, it's a bit more, so we pay maybe
More
4 or
expensive.
5 francs for a meal. Still, compared to Switzerland, cheap. But like in Switzerland, you have Zurich, where you pay more. You have like, Hergisville is also not that cheap, especially rent. But depending on where you are, is it like in a city or somewhere out where nobody lives? It makes a difference. Here, no different.
Yeah.
Right? No different. Good. Anything you want to add here?
Not sure.
About cost of living. So we have like rent, we have like kindergarten, like electricity.
We don't know yet. Yes.
We don't know yet how much we pay here right now, because it should be higher because of the pool.
But our first month here was crazy. Like, we paid a lot.
It's way more in Switzerland, and the reason is because we all the time have the aircon on.
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and it's pretty pricey. So there's an easy 300 francs I heard from people that pay monthly just for power. Next, we wrote down family life. What about family life?
I mean, it's hard to compare because it's so different. Then it's even hard to put in like into words how it is for us here. I think overall, like in Switzerland, because of my work schedule and yours, like we spent so little time together, and we were always like trying to, like, for example, when I was working, you had to look after Lara. So when I was not at work, I had to do it. So I spent time with her, and you would spend time with her, but together, like the three of us, would be very limited. I would say, like maybe once every like 2-3 weeks. It was very little, because we were trying to like find balance into me working and you working,
but it's almost an unfair comparison, because back then you had this other job that required you to be there all day, and here not, right? If you compared same job or like the same thing you do now, Switzerland, Thailand, it maybe would look different. Especially last year I would like work a lot, so and here just because because I have Lara, and I mean I cannot just say, oh, I'm gonna work all day long. I also want to spend with you. I want to enjoy like everything we have here, so I work less, definitely. And again, we spend much more time. I think for family,
it was
one
amazing.
of the best things.
It was. I think if we try to compare here, Brazil and Switzerland, I think right now we have like we created such a strong bond here. Like we really, put the time and effort into our relationship as a family here, and it was indeed like the best thing that could have happened for us.
For sure.
And somehow like before we thought, oh my God, maybe this is gonna be a problem. Like if we spend way too much time with each other, at some point it will be a problem, right? And so far, like, it's still okay.
I mean, sometimes we annoy each other, obviously, right?
We need a little bit of like, I need some time away, but like,
obviously.
But it's been smoother than we thought it would be, right?
Yeah. But it's maybe a good point, because we're here, the three of us. I would say probably me time comes probably a bit too short. Because in Switzerland, when she would work, I would give Lara away to my parents for half a day, and then I could do whatever, right? And now this is me time I no longer have, right? So no matter where we go, grocery shoppings, to the gym, or I'm gonna withdraw money or go to the shopping, no matter what we do, Lara is with me, you're with me.
I think we never spent so much time together. We've never, it's...
And it's good, I really enjoyed it, especially like when she comes back from kindergarten, and then we do something together, whether it's like doing handstands, going to the beach, or here just enjoying the pool. It makes a difference, and I like, honestly, I don't want to attack anyone, but I don't know like any parents, especially fathers who work, right, that spend that much time with kids, with their kids. Because obviously they're at work from 6 in the morning until 7 p.m. Right? They don't have like this luxury where they, when I'm working, Lara comes and she's half asleep and she looks at me, and then she wants like something to drink or something to eat. So I spend time in the morning, and then I drive her to school, I pick her up, we go to the pool, we eat together, we watch something. It's like hours and hours every single day. And I think that's really freaking amazing. Maybe not necessarily related to Thailand itself, more to my job, but this combination is pretty cool. What about, getting interesting now, friends and social circle? Maybe also people in general. Wait, let me ask you, did you make friends in Thailand?
Friends, not friends. But I met a lot of people.
But you don't have
But I also
friends in
didn't make
general.
friends in Switzerland.
So where is it easier to make friends?
Here,
Switzerland
for
or?
sure. Oh,
Why?
so much. People are so open. Like they want to talk to you. Like they come.
Are you talking to like the Farangs, the foreigners, or
Both?
the okay?
Yeah. They're always smiling, always happy. Yeah.
But this always smiling, always happy, I think applies to the Thai people,
Yeah.
and then all the Farangs, the gringos, the whatever, the people who come here. They're very open because like most of them are business owners like me. They have ideas, they want to connect to like-minded
Yeah.
people, and for me it's always in the gym obviously, where I meet other people and ask them questions and cool connections I made. All of them have a cool story. I mean, they're here for a reason, right? It's not like the boring story, oh, I grew up in this town, worked in this town my entire life, and then now I'm 80 and still in this town working, right? It's like they have some kind of motive to go to Thailand, to this place.
Yeah.
Most of them have a business, they have a cool story, they're travelers, and it's always super cool to meet them, obviously.
They're very open-minded.
Yeah.
No, they see a word as like something full of possibilities, and it's very nice to learn with them. Yeah.
But-
And to like the local people here, the Thai, I mean, I would say that for Lara, it had the most impact on her, because before we came here, she was very shy. Like
Yeah,
people
that's for
would
sure.
talk to her, she would hide behind us, or she would just like wave or something like that. But right now, because Thai people love kids, so they're all constantly talking to her, smiling at her, asking for a high five, all of that. So right now, she really came out of her bubble, I would say.
Yeah.
She's so social right now. And before we came here, we didn't expect to have such a huge impact on her like social skills. And it's like, it's another kid. Like from what she was in Switzerland to right now,
Absolutely.
it's like such a huge difference. And yeah, like
She dares to go to the waiter and order food and talk to other people. That's super. I think that just came with traveling, constantly seeing new people, interacting with new people.
yeah.
People who
But the
speak
fact that they're
another language.
open to do so also helps. Because in Switzerland, people are not gonna like stop you like, oh, what's your name? Like they're very friendly, very kind, but they are not open to do that like when you're in a supermarket or the gym, right?
makes sense.
So right now, like everywhere we go,
Yeah.
people are open
It's,
and they
now as you say it makes sense. Like people in Switzerland are like that, right?
Yeah.
They have their thing, work usually. They don't look right. They don't look right. In the train, it's super interesting to see like no interaction at all. And
Yeah.
here, again, in the gym or you meet travelers, no matter like on excursions, day trips, you always speak to them and want to know their story, and that makes it
sure.
much easier. Something I want to say that surprises me personally, or surprised me especially in the beginning, we have here this luxury villa, right, with pool, and people, locals, they know that wealthy people come here for vacation. Because not like if you're Thai, chances are you cannot afford such a place. Now next to us, you walk 2 minutes literally, and you see something you would call a garage in Switzerland. Like there is not even a door. There's maybe a mattress on the ground, and people sleep there, right? We went
They
to
live there,
restaurants
yeah.
where the kitchen and the restaurant where we sit is in the same room, like where they sleep. So very, very poor people, right? However, it doesn't come to mind to steal someone. It doesn't come to mind that to come here and grab our things. And in the beginning, I was worried because I have my notebook here, I have my camera here, I have my wallet here, a lot of money in it, and these doors here, you could easily break them, right? there's not a single event
No.
where I was like threatened. There's no robbery. You don't hear any stories. So you have a very poor people, you have wealthy people, but there is no conflict. Like not at all. Criminality is super, super low. And then even you have like different religion here. Like you have
Buddhism and Islam.
yeah, Islam with like the mosques and the prayers, and then also the Buddhists, and just on very small room actually, but nothing like
Conflict.
calm.
Yeah.
Everyone is smiling, and it's just like wonderful to see that. Like
And they also don't try to rip us off. Like they know, like that you're from Switzerland, you know, but they are not gonna change the prices because you're a foreigner.
yeah,
And I think like growing up in Brazil, you know, like if you go to Rio de Janeiro and they notice, okay, you're a foreigner, they might charge you a little bit more,
Yeah,
like for
for
taxi
sure.
and all of that.
For sure.
Here, like it's the same for us, the same for Thai people. Like there's no like such a
in
thing.
Rio, like, we stood 1 week in Rio. We got ripped off so many times.
Yeah, your father like, got stolen.
yeah. Here again, it's like
Yeah, I feel very safe
it's
here.
almost weird, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very safe because like in every other place, no matter what place I think of, where you have very wealthy people and poor people, it always
Yeah,
result in
there's-
conflict and robberies and criminality.
Yeah.
And here it's super safe,
Yeah.
right?
And I wasn't expecting that because, like, growing up in Brazil, you know, like, we also have, like, this huge gap between rich people and poor people. And there is a lot of, you know, robbery, like, crime rate in Brazil is so high. So you're always, you know, with your phone closed, or you're hiding your things, hiding your phone, hiding rings and all of that.
You were not even supposed to take your phone out of the street.
No, you're crazy if you do that. And here, like in the beginning, I was like, should I look after my things? Like, how does this work? But like, it's so chill. Like, people are not gonna rob you. Like, even talking to local people, they say, oh, this type of thing doesn't exist here. And it's very interesting to see that because there's such a huge gap.
It's weird.
Right?
It's super weird. I last week we were in a restaurant, right? The meal was really good, and it was, I don't know, 360 baht, and I got 400, and he gave me 40 back. I said, no, it's yours, and he gave it back, and it was so weird. Like, I said, it was such a good meal. I want to give you something. I want to like do you a favor, but he didn't accept it. It's super weird. Like, even if I give it to him, right? So this is really interesting. I think overall we don't need to worry about Lara. We know she's also safe at school.
And I think the most important lesson in all of that is like, people here have so little, most of them, but they are so happy like with what they
That's true.
have. And I don't want to do an apology to poverty. This is not what I'm talking about, but just like, it just goes to show us that we don't need a lot to be happy.
That's true.
And it really taught us like a very important lesson.
That's true.
Being here, like, we need so little to be happy in
Yeah.
life.
And it feels obviously so good if you
Yeah.
you have like the hotels and a bit fancy restaurants, or you can go next to it to the locals. I mean, here almost everyone has some kind of little shop where they give like their skewer or like chicken, meat, whatever,
Fruits,
food. Hygiene. We could speak about this as well. Another topic, hygiene. But yeah, it feels really good if you go there, like night markets. We have so many night markets every single day,
everywhere.
and it feels so just good because like they're making a living of that, right? It's all they do. Go from night market to night market, sell their banana or whatnot, their curries, and they're always happy. That's very interesting. Yeah, I think if I would have to do that every day, you know. Now it's night, I build all my stuff up, and then 2 hours later, okay, now it's finished. Next day, another place, and everything up, down, and it wouldn't be for me. It wouldn't be for me. Let's put it this way. But they're always like laughing and having a good time. Hygiene. What do you see?
Oh my god. Okay, there is no comparison between that, like here and in Switzerland. Like, no, there is no way
I think
to
overall
compare.
rules, you cannot compare
Yeah,
rules.
like
The
here-
rules, but
there are no rules, I would say.
There is no law enforcement,
Yeah,
so nobody checks. Is he, in Switzerland, I always give this example. I walk over the street and the policeman sees me, and or I was on a bicycle, and he said, hey, next time you get a fine because you need to like walk your bike, and here's just chaos like on the street.
Yeah.
Like no, even
No
the wrong
one cares.
side, nobody cares. Like ghost drive, they're like are very careful. I mean, accidents happen. But generally, like nobody cares, even if you drive on the wrong side, right? What about? I mean, more about food. Go on.
Oh my God! Like the way, like the places where they cook the food, it's just like you just pray you don't get sick and that's it. But like fortunately enough, or I don't know how it happened, we've never gotten sick here. Like I don't know how.
When I go to 7-Eleven, to the local store here, there is this little market next to it, and they sell skewers, right? Meat, chicken, and then you see everything. You see everything. You see like, what's the name? I don't know. Like you see animals on the night market, and you see like a lot of mosquitoes there, a lot of everything on one thing. Even when they do chicken, so not even cooked chicken yet, you see like
in the
animals
sun,
in the sun with animals on that, and you might eat that later on the night market. But funny enough, nothing ever has happened.
No, but in Chiang Mai was like crazy. Like we would see a lot of rats, like this gigantic rats in the street. A lot of cockroaches. Like you really need to be careful where you're walking, otherwise you would step on a cockroach. It was insane. Here is a little bit less, I would say, but overall, not very clean. Right, like in the street when you're walking, a lot of like litter around.
There's a problem.
It's really a problem.
I think in Koh Samui, we were also very close to the beach. It was always dirty, very dirty. It was glass and it was trash. And the thing, even here, if you go to Starbucks, you get a coffee, you drink it, and then you have like this plastic bag. You cannot find any trash.
You walk for like 10, 20 minutes.
Even a night market. So you have like 100 stores that sell food and drinks. And if you have like afterwards the trash, you cannot put it anywhere. So it just ends at the beach, everywhere on the streets. And
sometimes you even see like, for example, one person put one bag over there and then everyone puts it around. So it creates like a little pile of litter. And it's so sad because like there's so much nature around here, but sometimes very dirty. And at the beach, you need to be careful as well. Like when you're walking, that you're not stepping on, glass or something like that. But and
then if you put the plastic bag with all your trash in it outside, there's animals.
And it takes.
There's a lot of chicken, and the sun is out. It's just like sometimes it stinks. It really stinks, and it's such a mess. And I wondered many times, why don't they put like just, trash bag somewhere, like at least at night markets, at least when you walk along the beach, there's
especially
somewhere.
at like touristic places, right?
Again, there's here at this beach walk. There's McDonald's, there's Starbucks, there's I don't know, some other shops, ice cream store,
Burger King, and
all of them produce trash, but there's literally
one like that we saw just last week.
You need to like search it.
You
it's
really
like
need to look for it.
You need to look for it. You will not find it that easily. So and obviously then it's a shame. It's really a shame. But it's so much trash. So much trash. Do you miss like? Well, you never had like a lot of friends, to be honest. Like where you were in contact in Switzerland. Or,
no.
But do you miss? Do you miss your family?
I do. I miss your family as well. I think just having people around us sometimes, I think it's just, it was nice.
Do you think it can get lonely?
A little bit, yeah. Don't you think?
Well, in Brazil, we had these family events every weekend.
All the time.
I wouldn't necessarily love them, let's put it this way. And for me, it was more like time for me to relax, to have a 3-hour gym session or whatnot. In Brazil, they just live differently, right?
Yeah.
Now here, Well, you don't have the family events. Sometimes, okay, when we go on a day trip, obviously they are very also exhausting, by the way.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is also, I forgot to say that in the beginning, when you do these day trips, if you do a lot of them, this sums up also in expenses, obviously.
Yeah.
So maybe it's then 50 Swiss francs per person, this time 3. And if you do that 3 times a week, it sums up, obviously. And then the other thing that makes our trip more expensive is flights, just flights.
For sure.
But anyway, I don't feel lonely per se, because
because we are always around each other.
We have the 3 of us, and I've been working and connecting with my friends online for since like forever.
Yeah.
It's not much of a difference. I mean, honestly, here or Switzerland, every now and then I would see some close friends, right, and do something with them.
But less often than I thought you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then here, I made some, again, friends, whatever you want to call them, because probably we can have a good time. You speak to them, you see them on a day-to-day basis, but then when we move on, who knows whether we still get in touch that way. I don't say we made like close friends, but nice people, very friendly people, cool people, and it's good to hang out with them.
Yeah.
So I don't really feel lonely in this sense.
No, but it was very good for our family.
Yeah.
As we said before,
Yeah.
like we have less time with other people, but much more time for the 3 of us. So this really strengthened our bond as a family, and it was very important. So.
Yeah. Next, I wrote down business. There's 2 things, like my own business, and then obviously if you want to start a business here. My own business, it hasn't changed much because my business is purely online. I did it in Brazil, I did it in Switzerland, I do it now here. What I can say is because the sun is out, because you have a pool, obviously you have like this urge to go out, go to the pool, and it requires discipline, but this is just like, I knew that this is something that comes with being a CEO, with a leader, has nothing to do with Thailand, but it requires discipline, because you live at this paradise, and obviously, yeah, you still need to work, right, to make a living. So it requires some discipline. Obviously, this I have. And then the other thing, if you want to start a business or doing business with Thai, I think I need to take over this part because you don't are not that interested or haven't tried anything. A couple of thoughts on that. Number 1, if you want to start a business, you can only have 49% of the company as a foreigner. And then I think one of these other, 2 other people, one of them needs to be Thai. And yeah, with 49%, you cannot do a lot, right? So there's always this risk when you start a business. I know some guys who started businesses with their girlfriend, but they're also, I need to find a way because like, what if we split up, right? And you want to have like the main share of your company, in my opinion, otherwise it's not so cool. I tried to get in contact with the local gym. I even made them an offer. I wanted to get involved, and they were not very trustworthy. They didn't. Every time I asked about numbers, how many members, all the time was something different, and just like, yeah, they didn't make a good impression on me, to be honest. And when I offered them to do online marketing for free and everything, yeah, as a thank you, they just increased prices. It was, I don't know, as if they're not interested. I mean, they know they live off, well, Europeans, Americans, of like travelers, right? And I was willing to help, even willing to take part and help them because I know they don't have like any clients at all. And it seemed like no interest at all. It was weird to see, really, really sad to see. And then also I have one friend, George. He said he had this business idea like Alibaba or AliExpress in China, where you have like all these companies on one place, like online platform, and he try to build something here. So he would go to all these businesses and ask, hey, I'm trying to build this platform so that someone from Switzerland can look you up online and then, oh, I want 100 shirts from the store, right? And said zero interest. Like all the companies he went to, they just said, yeah, They don't want to be involved in any kind of that. And this is kind of weird. This is really weird to me. As if they're not interested to make profit or maybe to work with foreigners. Maybe it's more that.
I would say so.
But unfortunately, like in Brazil, I'm just happy I don't have to do business with them. Because in Brazil, they are, to me, shady when it comes to business, or like not, well, it's an entire other story, and not punctual and not necessarily trustworthy. This applies, unfortunately, here too, right? Or maybe just like the Swiss standard is so high. Maybe another thing. Okay, you have to add something about business.
No.
Good.
Not up my alley. I cannot talk about that.
Good. Values and happiness. So maybe 2 questions about this. Where do you think are you more happy? Or back in Switzerland or right now in Thailand?
Here.
Yeah, for me,
sure.
No brainer. For me, I think my happiness level, Switzerland, here is like 10 times more. And it probably has to do with several things, it's not one thing. But again, I love the sun, I love the warm climate, I love nature, I love freedom. I absolutely love freedom. In Switzerland, I don't feel free.
Yeah, that's true. You talk to Swiss people, they also say that, like, you don't really feel free because you always think you're doing something wrong. I felt like all the time, like, I always thought, like, when I was driving or when I was taking the train, I was always so aware of what I was doing that I felt like, oh, maybe I'm doing something wrong.
You remember when we went to this Spielplatz, this playground, and it was a Sunday, and the guy came and said, on a Sunday you cannot go on a playground. I called the police.
He wanted to call the police.
He wanted to call the police.
And one time I was like, it was public holiday, and then I parked my car in a construction site. There was no one there. It was a public holiday. There was no work. It was completely empty, right? And then I parked my car there to go to the nearest park with Laura, to the nearest playground with Laura, and then like a local, like a person who lived around, she came to me and said, "You cannot park the car here." And I was like, "But there's no one." She's like, "Yeah, but
this is Switzerland.
This car park is for the workers, and you cannot park." And I was like, "Okay."
Or again, if I want to cross the street with my bike, police calls me, "Hey, you need to like go off your bike." Here in Thailand.
Also, like my first month in Switzerland, when I bought the wrong ticket. I had like a ticket from one station to the other. It was literally like my first month, and I explained them, I showed them, like, you know, I had bought it, but it was like I took the wrong train for the wrong station, and I show like I have the ticket, but it's just like, you know, I took the wrong train. They're like, I don't care. They made me pay 70 something francs.
Yeah, so law enforcement. Here are laws, right? But nobody really enforces them, and sometimes you see police. It's not like very rare actually, but they exist, but they really don't care, right? Can be good or bad, obviously. But I mean, parking your scooter just wherever, it doesn't matter. Wherever is everywhere is parking, unless at the beach when there's like
I already got a fine.
When it's restricted, when there's like a line of red on the ground, like they colored it, and she parked there. So
yeah, but in Switzerland, I never got a fine, like a transit fine, or a traffic fine or something like that.
For me, it's freedom is very important to me, and I feel like here I have it. It also comes down to probably time difference, because I have my calls in the afternoon. All my morning is me time, gym time, do stuff, cool stuff time. It comes down to the good weather. It comes down to having a higher standard of living, or well, less expenses. It depends if you look at it, right? It comes down to less stress, way less stress for some reason. It comes down to having good family life, good balance with the weekend activities and all of that.
Yeah.
So everything contributes to the really love this place actually, right? But this is just for now, because Laura needs to go to official school soon, and we need to make a choice. Are we actually paying this 20,000 a year Are we going back to Switzerland? Do we want to raise her without back to Brazil? Do we want to raise her without her grandparents? How important is like education? How good is education here? And then on the other side, us, right? Happiness level, work.
Yeah, it's something that we are constantly talking about. Like we don't know yet what the future will hold.
Like everyone, so many Europeans here, so many Americans here, and everyone loves it, but nobody has figured out like perfect solution when it comes also to school. I think for me personally, school education would be a reason to go back to Switzerland, right? Other than that, I mean, family, but just way of living, how I feel, what I do on a day-to-day basis.
No brainer.
I want to stay here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Something you want to add? Did you miss something?
I'm not sure.
I mean, there's probably 7,000 things we didn't cover. But for now, I think nothing else comes to mind right now. Maybe from the view of Lara, of our daughter.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty amazing for her as well.
Yeah.
One thing that sometimes comes to mind, okay, my closest friends, I was in kindergarten with them, primary school, secondary, like all the way. And if we take her all the time from school, that she doesn't have these bonds, this is like a minus. I'm seeing, maybe if we speak also not only about the plus side of what we're doing, but also of the downsides. This is certainly a thing, right?
For sure, yeah.
Like the connections she makes or not makes. But still, like, she can look back and tell where she went to and what she experienced. And I mean, she learned a little bit of Thai even. And it's super
so
cool.
sweet,
It's super cool. And I think also...
And she evolved a lot.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
And I remember when we were talking about doing that, like beginning of 2022, when we were talking about this, we were so worried about her. Like, oh my God, like how is it going to be for her to be away from your family and, just not having like the structure that we used to have. And for her, like it was so easy for her.
It was super easy.
Yeah, like
super easy.
We were so worried and she made it be so easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you sometimes homesick?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
I can say like...
Sometimes I miss the structure that like Switzerland offers. It's so organized, it's so clean. Babe, when I was in Chiang Mai, because it was so dirty, I had to really look where I was stepping. I was like, oh yeah, I miss that about Switzerland. And also like when you're gonna cross the street here, people are not gonna stop for you. So you really need to wait, when there's...
Run if you can.
Yeah, run for your life. And in Switzerland, like you would just turn your arm a bit and people would already stop. You didn't even have to be like waiting there. Or what else?
I remember this one time when we saw police checking like scooter drivers.
Yeah.
And they took out the person in front of us. And we also stopped because there was a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And this guy also went to 7-Eleven, came out with 2 Gatorade and gave it to the police. And so I'm making a joke, is this what it takes to...
Are you bribing the police or what is that?
I was lucky this time to get Gatorade. It's like so funny.
Yeah, you can never do that.
Never. No. Yeah, now there's many things you couldn't do in Switzerland, obviously. Yeah, like a lot of things. And part of it is why I like it here, because actually it's free and nobody cares. It's not like, imagine during COVID, there is stories when the neighbors called, hey, this guy's working, but he's not supposed to, and so forth. And it's just like, here people have other problems. They let you do whatever you're doing.
Yeah. But I think that's part of why Switzerland is so organized, because people are, they put in the effort. They wanted to make it work.
They're very correct.
And it's, it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Like, I would say 99% of Swiss people couldn't live here because they would,
Why?
It would, babe.
Why?
Why? First of all, the it's different, right? The organization here, reliability, the means of transport, like they would go crazy. Like in Switzerland, you barely see motorbikes, and here, like you just see motorbikes. People without helmet, like how much Swiss people would go crazy here? Like, do you think your parents would like?
For vacation, for sure, they would love it.
But they would never live here. No,
Yeah.
I think you know what I mean.
Yeah, for me it's awesome. Also, no, I mean, there's many factors, right? Like work. I mean, my dad would love the nature. He would go for walks with me and to look at the animals and nature. That's super amazing.
Yeah.
Having a pool. I mean, who says no to a pool when it's warm, right? Now the scooter life is not for everyone. I agree.
No.
But you can buy like a car, right? Having the beach so close is awesome. Obviously, being far away from everyone else, this is not for everyone, right?
No.
Leaving everything
It's
behind,
hard.
this is
Yeah.
not for everyone,
Yeah.
right? This I know. Yeah.
What else do you want to add?
I think we I mean, this is just an idea, or our, perception, the differences, Thailand versus Switzerland, and obviously it's not fully fair because again of the situation of her job, and she has more time here, and but overall I can really say that I feel good, that I feel free, that I really do what I kind of always wanted to do. I feel grateful for life here, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel really good.
It's been great. It's
Yeah.
for us as a family, but for us as individuals as
Absolutely.
well. It was
Absolutely.
we grew a lot during
You
this
haven't
time.
even touched on like snorkeling and seeing
Yeah.
sharks and all that.
Yeah, it's great.
It's great. All right, let's wrap this up here. Thanks for tuning in. If you have questions, let me know, or let Gabriel know on Instagram or on LinkedIn or on Facebook, on anywhere. You'll find me. Hope this was interesting, more or less, and have a great day. Cheers.
Bye bye.